Hi everybody, this is Kathy from Kathy's Cards. I have my camera pointing down because I wanted to show you some of the ceramic tiles that I just got done finished with. And this is the first one that I did, and hopefully you can see this. It's with this cute little girl and she's holding the flowers. And it said, "Friends are flowers that never fade." Now I used StazOn as my black ink for my stamp. And I used, on this one here, I used watercolor because with StazOn, you can't always use Copic. It tends to want to bleed the lines. So I stuck to watercolor on this one. And then I kind of dry brushed around and, used the different colors that was in the little girl. And then on the back, I put a nice felt backing. And then also when I was done, I sprayed it with a matte spray. I get mine at Michael's. It's Krylon matte spray. And that seemed to be the best one to use with the watercolor. Other people might have success with other things. But this is the only thing that didn't make the colors bleed or the stamp bleed. So I was glad about that. And like I said, that's the little girl. And then next, I did this little girl. This is from Unity Stamps. I'm sorry, my camera likes to go in and out at times. And I love this little girl, and I put a little glitter on. In person, you don't see the glitter as bright, but it just kind of gives a little touch on the flower. And hers says, "I will be there for you." Again, I used watercolor pens, and you can use pencils too. Again, I dry brushed all around with my, this is what I use for when I dry brush all around. And they go on my fingers. I like these. It's my preference. And I go around and I dry brush all around. And, that always works out good for me. And like I said, she is a Unity stamp. They have wonderful stamps. I do use a lot of their stamps. And then everybody knows what this is. This is one of the house mouse stamps. Okay, camera, let's go clear here. And I put a few little sparkles on them. I think this one is so cute. And it says, you probably can't read it from here, "You are not alone." And I thought that kind of worked really good with this sneaker and the two little mouses inside of it. And again, like I said, I do like to put color with my sponges. Everybody calls it different things, but I sponge all the way around. And this is one of my favorite house mouse stamps. Then, this is another Unity stamp. It's called "Enjoy Life Simple Pleasures." And again, all watercolor. And I use the greens and the pinks. And again, I use some pink going around. I sponged it all around. Then here's another stamp, one of my favorites. It says, "Embrace the Journey." It's a girl holding the cup. And I did use a few little sparkles on her. And I sponged all around again. We always love our cup of coffee. And this is another special one to me. Unity Stamps has a few of these with Jesus and little children. And I just think, okay, camera, stop. I don't know why it does it. I think it's like it's trying to adjust to the picture when you move. And this one says, "Celebrate the Wonder." And I just love the stamp with the bird and the little girl. And just enjoying being with Jesus and watching the beauty of the little bird. But I just think that's a really beautiful picture. And this one here, another Unity stamp, and this is a little girl with her horse. And it says, sending a hug your way. This one I didn't put any glitter on. I just kind of left it alone. And this one here I actually did with pencils, watercolor pencils. And then I used a blender. So like I said, that's another way that you can go. But I think this is such a pretty picture. All right. Give my camera time to... And this is another Unity stamp. It's the little girl smelling the rose. And I have a little glitter on her. And it says, after the showers, the smell of flowers. And then the other thing you can use on these, and when you do it, you can then use alcohol markers. I like using them both. This one here is another Unity stamp that I absolutely love. It's the girl running in through like hay, a field of hay, I think it is, or some sort of field. And I just love the way it's going through her hair. And I put, you know, glitter there. I don't know, my camera doesn't like when you move things around a lot. Come on. I'm so sorry, guys. I set it up real quick. I guess I set it up wrong. Anyways, this I used the Versamark. And that's this thing here, Versamark. I'm sure you're familiar with it. Use it with embossing powder. And you stamp it in Versamark first. And then you put the powder over it. And then you use the, it's like a blower. It's not a hair dryer, but it reminds you of one. But it gets really hot very fast. And what it does was, this is dull normally when you first put it on. But then when you put that heat gun on it, it just, all of a sudden, everything gets real bright, and it gives it like a wet look. But it doesn't, nothing really makes it, you don't have to worry about colors, spreading it, or, you know, having any problems with it like you do when you use StazOn or Memento. Sometimes you have to be careful with different colors or watercolors or Copic markers. Oh, I'm getting a headache just from this going back and forth. I don't know why it's doing that. Stop. Maybe if I move it for a second. All right. But anyways, I did use all Copic on this. And I just love her. I don't know if you can, but she's just so pretty. Looks so carefree. So that one was done with the embossing powder and Versamark. And then I did this one too. I went a little wild with this one. This is one of my cute stamps. I forget. Let me see who makes this stamp. This is by Crafting. Yeah, let me see if I can find a bigger print here. Crafting. I'm not sure. Oh, here. Crafting Kimmy Stamps. Maybe you can see it here. It's Crafting Kimmy Stamps. Sit there. And anyways, like I said, I did the coffee, and I did it red, and I did it blue, and then I did my sponging around it, and I put on top no coffee, no worky. That's one of the stamps you get to pick. There's like 3 of them. But again, like I said, I did use the embossing powder. So again, I could use my Copic markers. And I put a little sparkle on her. But I just made her a little darker, and I didn't know how to bring it back lighter, but now I'm used to her. She's cute. She's enjoying her retirement. She's in coffee. She's got marshmallows. So, so that was that one. So like I said, if you want to use Copic markers or any other markers that that aren't watercolor, sometimes embossing it will work out better for you. The StazOn seems to work good with the watercolors, but that's just me. Somebody else might have another way that they do it, and that's fine. But and then I'll show you here. Move this again. You don't want to see all my paperwork. Come on, camera. And then I got all these ceramic tiles. I got them at Home Depot. And they're similar to tumbler ones. In fact, they were next to the tumbler ones, but they were actually called, because tumbler ones tend to have a lot of holes in them. And a lot of times when you get the boxes, there's more holes than you need, and it really, you can't get the whole picture on. So these were next to them, and these were called Ivory Travertine 4x4. And they came in a box, and I think there was maybe 9 in here. So that's what I ended up getting. It didn't have as many holes, and there you go. Come on. I apologize. This camera is really giving me trouble tonight. Come on. Okay, I don't know what it's doing. But anyways, also at Home Depot, you can get these. And these are a little smoother. The only thing, because they are smoother, they're a little more touchier. And you take these little ones off, which you can also use. But, let's see, I think I have a blank one here somewhere. Yeah, when you take them off, they look like this. And they come off real easy. I just use my knife or scissors, and, you know, they come right off. So anyways, I wanted to show you these. These are smaller ones. Again, these are with watercolor. And this is what StazOn ink. And these were just little stamps that I had. And then after I sprayed them and they dried. And with the watercolor, you really kind of want to let them dry overnight and then spray them. And then I would probably wait a couple hours after I sprayed them, and then I would use the glitter. Because like I said, the watercolor, probably because of the water, compared to like Copic or those other ones, it has a tendency sometime to make things bleed. So you got to be really careful. Test it, put a little bit on. But I thought these were nice little ones you could make into magnets. And this is a little bird that I stamped. This is just a flower. It's a little coffee cup. And like this one here, I used red. This is the shoe. And this is really cute. It says, when it comes to friends, you're a shoe in. This was a little more trickier because we got red and black. It bled a little bit in a few spots, but I don't think you can really see too much. I kind of tried to put the glitter and cover up that. But like I said, you just take your time. You'll get your own feel of what works, what you like. But they're a lot of fun, and experimenting is the whole fun of it all. And so that's why I wanted to share this with you, to see, you know, like I said, how mine came out. And these type here are probably the easiest to work with because they're soft, but they're not as shiny as those. And it seems like watercolor Copic, they take really well too. But again, I would not use any of the Copic markers or any other alcohol markers unless you're using the Versamark and the embossing powder. Now there might be another stamp out there that will take Copex and not bleed. I'm just not aware of it. So please, if anybody knows of a stamp, an ink stamp that works well with Copic on ceramic tiles. It's not like paper. It's totally different from paper. I can use all the Copics I want on paper and don't seem to have the problem with bleeding. But when you're using this medium, you know, it can be a problem. But, you know, I like them both. So, like I said, I just wanted to share with this with everybody. And again, I'm sorry about the camera. Sometimes it has a tendency not to always like when you have it up and it's looking down. I don't know why. Not as much that, I shouldn't say. It's the moving around, a lot of moving around. So I'll have to work on that. So anyways, guys, thanks a lot. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. But anyways, this is what I have. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you had a wonderful 4th of July. Take it easy, everybody.